Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tito Clock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
Everybody, what's going down and where's it going down at? Hi, it's Free Plug Friday. It's Tita Clock. It's whatever you want to call it. It is our time together till about 6 p.m. tonight. So I hope you can just hang around for a little while. We got a really nice show in store for you, actually, because we got the Free Plug Friday stuff. Everyone looks forward to that. And we also have, what else do we have? Well, of course, the news, the latest and updates and headlines and stuff like that. Plus, we'll be chatting about anything else you want to fill in the time. So if you haven't asked me anything or anything like that, or you just want to get something off your chest, let's converse. Let's have a bit of fun. And let's make this last up until 6 p.m. Well, we'll be drawing a grand raffle draw of 2 handheld vacuum cleaners that 2 lucky Tita Clockers are going to be walking away from. So hopefully that could be you. Certainly hoping it is you. And I bet you're hoping more than I'm hoping. So what you're waiting for, if you haven't already put your name down, may I suggest that you go over to the main page, which is where you're watching it from, but open another tab so you don't miss anything. Just put your little paw or whatever else you want to put into the comments box over there. And that means you're automatically in the draw for that. Okay, that's where it's going to be drawn from, should I say, not from the comments here that you're seeing on the live comments. So don't worry about spamming that. That's not going to get you any advantage at all. If you want to win the vacuum cleaner, just go over to the other side. Stick around for a little while. We'll draw that out around 5:45, 5:50, something like that at the end of the show. But in the meantime, let's do some greetings and say hello to the Tita Clockers who are out there. Just a few of them. Marilyn Montañez, hi, hello, welcome to the show. Renz Sapungan, hi again. Dennis Dancel as well. Who else we got? Melanie Villalon Domingo. She's also one of our regulars. So always good to see our regulars tuned in. Miles Ancheta. Any relation to Mitchie? Any? Miles? Because she used to be my producer at CNN. She's still the executive producer, I think, of a lot of shows. So just in case you're related, she's a top person. I love her. Okay, what else we got there? Who else we got out there? Ivan Ong. Okay, that looks like it for now. I know we got a bunch more, but I can't see them from here. I can only see what's being flashed up, like Mayan, etc. So, alrighty. Before we get going with all the Free Plug Friday stuff, before we get going with, I'm having dramas again with my, just my browser and stuff like that. It's so hard to get this thing going on. Just want to make sure that we have on standby over here. I'm trying to look at the other comments. That's what I'm doing. But I need another. There we go. All right. Super hard to be a one-man show. Well, we're a two-man show in the studio. We got Y over in the other side. We got X over here. We got myself. Z's going around the place doing some stuff upstairs. So we're all kind of split up trying to put the show together for you. So in the meantime, why don't we welcome up for your headlines, Chris? What you got there for us, Chris?
Hello, Tito James, and good afternoon, Tito Clockers. This is today's news. All right, now, President Rodrigo Duterte will extend the state of calamity in the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque Jr. said yesterday that the chief executive has probably signed the new proclamation but did not state the time frame for the extension of the state of calamity. Roque claimed that the Philippines has been addressing the disease much better than our other countries in the region, and the spokesman also declared that the worst is over for the country, though he admitted that the government has to strengthen its contact tracing efforts and increase further healthcare capacity to include bed allocations for COVID-19 patients. In March this year, Duterte declared a state of calamity throughout the country for a period of 6 months and also imposed the enhanced community quarantine in the entire Luzon. The quarantine status was eventually revised, lowered, and reverted depending on the regular review, assessment, and recommendation of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. Under Proclamation 928, the President can call on all law enforcement agencies with the support of the Armed Forces of the Philippines to undertake all necessary measures to ensure peace and order in affected areas. All government agencies and local government units are also enjoined to render full assistance and cooperation with each other and mobilize the necessary resources to undertake critical, urgent, and appropriate disaster response and measures in a timely manner to curtail and eliminate the threat of COVID 19. In other news, the European Parliament urged the Philippine government to drop all charges against Rappler CEO and executive editor Maria Ressa, former researcher Renaldo Santos Jr., and other staff of the news website. The call stated in resolution adopted with 626 votes in favor, 7 against, 52 abstentions, cited that all politically motivated charges against Ressa and her colleagues should be dropped. The resolution noted that the complaint was filed in 2017, or 5 years after the cybercrime law was passed. It was well beyond the more typical 1 year prescription period for libel. The lawmakers said that the guilty verdict comes even as Reza has long been targeted for her criticism of the government's war on drugs and for Rappler's critical reporting on extrajudicial killings. During the deliberation, Hannah Newman, a member of the parliament, highlighted the need to withdraw the European Union's financial assistance to the Duterte government following human rights abuses. The resolution also called the government to renew the franchise of the Philippines' largest broadcaster, ABS-CBN, which was ordered shut by the National Telecommunications Commission following the franchise expiration in May. The European the European Parliament also called on the Duterte administration to guarantee the physical and psychological integrity of all human rights defenders and journalists, and to ensure that they can carry out their work in an enabling environment and without fear of reprisals. Reza, Rappler, and some of his directors and staff have faced at least 11 complaints and cases, mostly initiated by the present government. MRT Line 3 deployed a record high of 21 trains yesterday. This move happened for the first time in its 20 years of operation as the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, decided to keep the 1 meter distance rule in public transportation. MRT3 Operations Director Michael Capati said commuters could expect shorter waiting time intervals and increased rider capacity as the agency will deploy more trains. The number of commuters allowed on the trains has significantly decreased due to limited capacity in public transportation as a measure against coronavirus infections. The MRT3, which is undergoing rehabilitation for rail replacement, remains one of the most vital modes of transportation in Metro Manila. It caters to more than 300,000 passengers daily before the pandemic. Over on the roads of Manila, Rojas Boulevard will be closed tomorrow to give way for the Manila Bay cleanup. According to MMDA, the north and southbound lanes of Rojas Boulevard from P. Burgos to Quirino Avenue will be closed from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the 35th International Coastal Cleanup Day. Motorists going northbound are advised to take the following alternate routes: Osmeña Highway, right turn to Quirino, straight to Lacson Avenue, left to Tayuman, Kapulong Street, then to destination. Meanwhile, southbound vehicles will take the Bonifacio Drive, left turn P. Burgos, Finance Road, Ayala Boulevard, right turn to Marcelino Street, right turn to Quirino Avenue, then left turn to Rojas Boulevard to destination. The International Coastal Cleanup Day is held every third Saturday of September, pursuant to the Proclamation number 470. Heading on over to Hollywood, late night funny man Jimmy Kimmel will host the 72nd Emmys live on Sunday from an empty theater in Los Angeles, which remains under strict lockdown. Winners beaming in from the safety of their homes due to COVID 19. Cameras were sent to the 130 odd nominees to hook up in their own living rooms. The nominees have been encouraged to get creative with their speeches. Because of the unpredictability of the awards night, IndieWire TV Awards editor Libby Hill says that even if Sunday night is a complete disaster, it's at least going to be an interesting disaster, and that's really all you can ask for in 2020. The coronavirus has turned the Tinseltown upside down, bringing productions to a halt, even as stay at home orders around the world sent binge watching throughout the roof. And finally, in Tacloban, Leyte, photos of a man trying to fix his improvised bicycle went viral among Facebook users. Roswell Plasigo, who shared the post on September 14th, identified the 52-year-old man as Johnny Cuevas from Tacloban City. Cuevas stopped by the side of a road along the Palo Market in Leyte to repair his worn-out bike, which had rubber and bamboo keeping its parts together. Plasigo shared that Cuevas has been trying to make both ends meet for him and his wife by going to different places on his bike for umbrella repairs. Netizens who saw the Facebook post have offered to extend assistance to Cuevas. As of 10:21 this morning, a new bicycle has been donated to Cuevas by JB Javier, as well as some cash donations sent through Roswell Plasigo. And those are the headlines, Tito James. Let's have a look at the inbox. Let's have a look. First up we have is the panloloko sa delivery online in Las Piñas.
Now I can see it. I got you. What's
Yes.
this? What do we got here? Well, explain it to me like a 4-year-old. Here we go. Matinding panloloko sa online delivery. Ah, yeah, I know this one. This guy. Before we start the inbox, Chris, just wanted to say you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I've been kind of stuttering.
You're
Thank you
doing
so
great.
much.
You're doing great. I haven't had a chance to say that on the air, but I love your little transitions as well. You've got this little whoosh in between.
Yeah, I tried. I'm trying to do this thing. I'm experimenting also with tech and all.
We're all experimenting. Like
Yes.
everyone's experimenting now with everything. So don't feel bad. And that's not just for Chris. That's for you guys too. Whatever you're experimenting with, trust me, everyone else is doing the same way. We're all just hustling and faking till we make it.
Yes.
We all tell you different, but we're all faking it till we make it. That's what's up. Anyway, this guy fakes. This guy is a horrible fake. This is the one that people to send how many delivery drivers to that place? 10?
10, around 10. It says hindi raw bababa sa 10. The delivery riders ang nagkumpulan sa Pilar Village, Las Piñas City.
Ang bastos.
And
Sir,
yes.
Diyos ko po. You know, and when I did this, Chris, there was a lot of people who sent me messages, and they were also victims either of the same scam or they had seen their neighbor. So this is been picked up, but there's some really awful person out there that's doing this. And then when they would text the number and say, "Hoy, nandito na kami," and the guy would say, "Na scam kayo." So the number that was actually horrible person. Who would do a thing like this in a time like this? You know,
someone who's super bored.
Yeah, or wasn't breastfed as a child, maybe. Probably
possibly. That. Yeah. There was also that one time that there was this delivery prank also, and when the delivery guy was already in the address, the person who made the call was like, "It's a prank. It's for my vlog." So like, what? And he wasn't willing to pay for anything.
Ang bastos talaga. Do not be like this person over here, okay? Just because this is one of those just awful crimes with, you know, there are crimes are bad in general. We know that, right? I'm not here to defend anything, but you know, there are some crimes that make a little bit more sense. Not saying that you should do it. Don't take it that way. I'm just saying that, you know, when somebody steals something for the sake of because they're hungry, it's still wrong, but you can kind of see where the thought pattern or logic is. But when somebody does this, there's no gain. There's zero gain. It's just for fun. It's just to shame or just to give people a hard time. And I know that in my brother's business, he has Lifeline Ambulance. I was surprised when he told me how many crank calls he gets per day. It's
wow.
Yeah, it's more crank calls than the legitimate calls. And each crank call ties up the phone line or an operator, because they're not operators, they're actual trained med tech. So these are not just specialized people these are specialized people who can walk you through the problem while you're waiting for the ambulance. You tie up that person for a good 2-3 minutes or 1 minute or wherever else it takes to do your stupid prank. Don't do it.
Mhm.
Move on. Let's move on. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
let's
I'm
move
getting
forward.
riled up.
Let's move forward to the next one. Is the Living Things Funeral Parlor.
If
I
I
think this
keep
is an
talking,
old photo.
yeah,
I'm not sure. I think I saw this already way back. Not sure
you,
when.
there's things that
But
never
it's
age.
really witty.
There are some things that never get old. And
Yes.
yeah, Filipino signage is one of them. So God bless
Mhm.
us for that, because I think it's one of the few things keeping us sane is our sense of humor. So
That is true.
this is
Kudos to those who thought of this title.
there's plenty more. There's like Elizabeth Taylor, Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
You know what these guys are
Mhm.
like. They keep us all afloat. All right, next up we got.
The CCTV in manual operation.
This was funny. But, I mean, I got a couple of reactions from MMDA, and they were like trying to justify it. Guys, it's good vibes. We're not hating here. We're not hating. Okay, please learn the difference between a post that's offensive and a post that's just good vibes. There's no
Yes.
hate. Look, he's standing right over the CCTV in operation site, holding a camera. If we can't just have a bit of fun at this, we really are doomed as a nation. We just come from the Living Things one, where we
Yes.
showcase the humor of the Pinoy.
Mhm.
There are people who are like, you shouldn't be shaming the guy. We can't even see his face. You can zoom right.
That's true.
You never know who the hell that was. I'm sorry. Take it as
For
it
all,
is.
for all we know, he did it on purpose so that somebody could take a photo of him.
I wouldn't be surprised. In 2020, nothing surprises me anymore, Chris.
Nothing at all.
What you got? What else?
Okay, last up, we have suspect na nahuli via Cinderella method. This is funny. Wow.
Hilarious. It's hilarious on so many levels.
Mhm.
I mean, because you've got the whole fairy tale ending, right?
Yes.
But it's a tinela, so it's like
Yes, the chinelas. Well, it does say in the movie sometimes it's a slipper. So, yeah.
oh, that's true, but I'm just saying it's just okay. I just find it funny. I think you find it funny for the same reason. We don't need
That's
to
true.
overanalyze it. We just laugh.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, next we got.
All right. I think that's all we have for now, Tita James.
Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for all your headlines, your updates, and for your little whoosh in between the stories. That was very nice. We'll catch you again next Friday. So
Yep.
say bye to the Tita Clockers.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you again next week. Bye, Tita James. Bye, everyone.
All right, that was Chris over there, and she has certainly been up in her game ever since she's joined the team, and I love it. I love it because we've advertised this once on Facebook, and we said looking for somebody to read the news, preferably somebody who's just starting out and somebody who wants to get a little bit of experience and stuff. And Chris was one of the applicants, and she's doing so great. We kept her on week after week. It's the third week already. All right. So well done, Chris. And, another thing that is super popular on Fridays is our highly engaging Free Plug Friday. And this is basically where you guys can go if you have a small business and you want to be able to get to promote it, but you don't have the funds, you don't have the resources, etc. We totally understand, and we totally got you, because we have dedicated this whole segment, and it's about we do this every week. So not just here, but we'll also share it on Instagram, on the stories. And the best part of it is it's absolutely free. So if you're one of those who wants to promote your product and your service, but you have to be a smaller business, we don't, we are trying to help out the little guy here. So try to keep it local, try and support each other. So send it through the Deaconitis account on Instagram. The reason we ask you to do that is because if you send it through Facebook, there are a lot more messages coming through on Facebook, and most of them are transport related, or there's so many other, it gets lost in the wash is what I'm saying. On Instagram, we can kind of manage it a little bit better. It's first come, first serve, but you know what? It doesn't cost you anything. Even if you don't send it, your product, it's okay. It's fine. We're here to just help you out, and it's not here to get little samples or anything like that. So anything that you see from here, if you can support them, you're really helping the cause because you're helping out somebody who's going to spend also locally and then put that back into the economy. So with that long super intro, we've got Free Plug Friday. And for that, we need X. What you got in the inbox, X?
Hi, Tita James. We actually have a lot in store for you today. But before we get there, I just want to say hello to all the Tito Clockers. Welcome to another edition of Free Plug Friday. First up, we have Chex Comfort Food because, guys, especially during this weather, we need some comfort food within our midst.
Not just the weather, the situation, everything's so weird.
Oh,
we
yeah.
crave for comfort. We crave for anything normal, anything that was from our childhood.
Like cheesy baked macaroni.
Doesn't get more normal and comfort than that.
No.
Bring back the old normal.
All right, guys. Chex Comfort Food offers cheesy baked macaroni and cheesy baked spaghetti. How did you like it, James? Would it feel comforting? Would it feel soothing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, baked mac is about as comfort food as I can kind of remember because, I don't know, one bite and I felt 12 years old all over again. So I really like the idea of having these old favorites, especially now in the new normal. Because like I said, anything that brings us back to what it was before COVID-19, and baked mac brings me back to my childhood. So good job there. Chex. Really like it.
Awesome. Price starts at 220 pesos. That serves up to 2 people already. Hope you can check them out. Chex Comfort Food. Next, we have Torpy PH. Well, say hello to Tortilla Fusion Pizza.
You could have said that before you gave it to me because I thought it was a pizza.
Oh, yeah. Surprise there, Tita James.
All right. Here's a little disclaimer because you know what? It looks like a pizza. It looks like a panizza. If you're familiar with that, really thin, it's got all the toppings on it. So to the naked eye, that's a pizza. Grabbed it, put it in my mouth. I was like, what is this? It's a tortilla fusion with a pizza. So it is great. But I do put the disclaimer out because if you don't know it and you're expecting something else, you could get medyo bigla. But once I knew it was a tortilla, I really enjoyed the twist on it. I really thought they did a nice job in turning 2 classics into one. For that alone, it's definitely worth a try. But how much is it?
All right, Tito James, it actually starts at 250
What?
pesos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it would be a little more than that.
It's actually a big box.
Well, it looks like a pizza, so I was trying to pegging it at pizza prices of about $3.50 and above.
All right, guys. Hope you guys are checking it out. Torpy PH on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we have Delish Manila.
Nice little play on words there.
Yes, it is. Delish Manila serves these milk jelly drinks that offer different flavors such as coffee jelly, chocolate, matcha, and my personal favorite, strawberry. Which one did you like most?
I have to say the strawberry too. And I'm not normally a strawberry kind of. I will go for the coffees first, but they do a particularly nice strawberry version of it.
It's true, guys. Hope you guys can check them out. The price is 50 pesos per 250 ml bottle.
Wait!
Yes, Tito James.
Share the hack.
Oh, the hack. Hack is, guys, if you buy at least 3 bottles, you'll only get it for 145 pesos.
Not that hack. The other hack.
Oh, yes! I have a hack, guys. Okay, guys, they usually come in liquid form, but try to put them in the freezer and take them out just as the ice has started to form. Because that's when, how do you explain that?
Well, okay. I thought this was how they were served until I found out later it was a hack. And I thought this should be standard. So it comes normally as a milk drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's garden variety and we're all used to that. So what we need to do is throw it into the freezer and either do one of 2 things. You pull it out a little early just before it gets rock solid. Or if you forgot, like I did, leave it there to get rock solid and pull it out and let it thaw for what?
A few 30 minutes.
30 minutes or so. So just leave it there while you're having, let's say, your lunch or your dinner and you want to have it afterwards. Leave it in the sink for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes and let it just thaw out a bit. And then you hit it against something really hard. Like that. And then you start crushing the ice a bit and it becomes a whole new experience.
It's like a milkshake or I can't explain.
Medyo, but very icy. So
Very
not quite
icy.
creamy, icy. So it's a nice little kiss. Try it.
Hope you guys try it out. Again, Delish Manila on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we have Bridgestone Philippines. These are lubricant eye drops that keep your eyes lubricated, especially now that more often than not, most of us are in front of our gadgets or devices. Like Tito James?
Sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at my gadget there for a while. What were you saying?
No.
The irony, yes, we are spending more time on our gadgets. It's like triple for me now. Maybe 2.5 to triple that it was before COVID. And so it does put a lot of eye strain on you. So I've tried only the lubricating drops,
Same here.
but they look like they have something more hardcore and like industrial strength. What are those things there?
They do. They have either the Sustain Balance that actually provides more lubrication to the eyes, or if you want something that's like super heavy grade duty stuff, they have the Sustain Ultra HD that comes in a vial form.
The idea is basically to lubricate your eyes, because if you are staring at a screen all day, it tends to dry out, among other things. But how do you know? Is there like some kind of test to know if you are losing a lot of lubrication?
I know that there's one test. Try to look at your phone or stare at the screen of whatever device that you have. And if you blink within 10 seconds, that means that you are probably more prone to eye dryness.
Okay. All right.
And
So,
I tried it, Tito James. My eyes blinked after just 2 seconds of staring at the screen.
oh well, there you go. You need a whole box of that. So I tried on lubricating drops. It's worth a try just to get some refreshment in your eyes, and it does feel good. Again, they just felt nice.
Yeah. Hope you guys can check them out. The Sustain Philippines on Instagram and Facebook. Next, we have Flab Medi Air Mini from Flabio PH. It's basically an air sterilizer, Tito James.
Okay. And this is something you plug in, or something you spray, or
Oh, basically, it's literally a device that you plug in via USB that can basically sterilize your place up to 30 cubic meter space.
oh, that's about the size of the Tita Fox studio. Yeah. If you don't count, the balcony, it's about 30, and the kitchen, about 30. Is that the one you have on the desk now?
Yes, that's the one I have on the desk right now.
Okay, and it's doing its thing now, but it's a bit too early to say how it works
That's true.
in actual results, because, well, we have to be honest. We only plugged it in, how many?
Like 2 days ago.
Okay, so if we don't get sick next week, we know it's good.
All right, guys. Hope you guys can check them out at Flabio PH on Facebook and Instagram. Last but not the least, we have Blue Vitriol Mandaluyong. It is actually Blue Vitriol Mandaluyong is actually a disinfectant that is made up of a crystalline compound, soluble copper, that's already been proven to have antimicrobial properties against bacteria and viruses.
Have you noticed that disinfectants have become like the new, scents? Like before, there was a craze with perfumes and stuff, and now everyone's doing these disinfectants, and for good reason too, because everybody needs them now. So it's nice to have this variety. I haven't tried this one, but I like the bottle.
Yeah, because you know why?
It looks really cool.
It looks cool, and it comes in different sizes as well. So one of them seems like it's really handy for you to just take around.
So this is for your skin and stuff. You're not surfaces. It's for everything. You use it as a replacement to alcohol.
Well, actually, it's actually good for any types of surfaces, Tito
Mhm.
James, because it can be used for just doorknobs, bathroom, and it's skin friendly. It's bleach free. And it's odorless, so you can basically use it anywhere, and everywhere.
So it's an alternative to alcohol.
Yes, Tito
Okay.
James. And even for fruits and vegetables, you can even put them there. But of course, this is still not edible.
You wouldn't want to ingest it.
All right, guys. So basically, that's all we have for this week's edition of Free Plug Friday. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys next week. Peace out. This is Lex.
Well, thank you very much, X. All right, that is Free Plug Friday, and I hope you got a few ideas out there. And if you do have any ideas out there, make sure that you support local, because you know what? Everyone could use each other's support right now, because that's how we grow as an economy. Ow. Stretched here a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty much a bunch of stuff that we got this week to share with you. And if you got any more, well, if you weren't listening at the beginning, sucks to be you. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Send it through Instagram, IG, Deaconitis. That's DE. There you go. It's down there on the scroller. And we will get to that as soon as possible. It is first come, first serve, obviously. And there's sometimes a bit of a backlog. So bear with us. But, we're going to do it for free. What's that? What are you pointing at? Okay, we can. Can you see X's face? You did. She was like demoing the eye drop thing. That's about as close as you can get, because she's obviously quite shy, because she hides behind that little. Anyway, you can go and rewind and you'll see that. And so next up we got. You know what I wanted to share? I wanted to share after from the inbox, something I posted earlier on. If you have any questions, by the way, between now and about 5 50 or something like that. So about 9 minutes. Pop Malong will try and answer them. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk about. Wait, did that just stop? Yeah, it did. Something just stopped.
Now,
No.
one really cool thing about
There we go. Something stopped. Gremlins again in our studio. So let me try it again. There we go. So where were we? We were at Ask Me Anything. If you haven't asked me anything in the meantime, could you pop up that thing I just posted, X, the one about the spamming, the spamming in the new normal. And the reason I wanted to talk about this a little bit is because nobody, I don't think, talks about it enough. It's not the most exciting topic to talk about. It's not something that will really, I don't know why. And that's part of the reason why I get kind of frustrated with it, because I think we take our privacy here way, way too lax. We're too lax about it. We're not serious enough about it. Okay, this is just one of, I get these like maybe, I don't know, 3-4 times a week or something like that from 2 different banks. And on the surface, a lot of people, you can take it out now. A lot of people have been asking when I posted it, it's like, hey, if you don't like what the message is, or if you don't like being sold something like that, just ignore the message or delete the message, is generally the reaction I get when I talk about this topic. And the problem with that is, you see, they're banking on it, no pun intended, because it's a bank that's sending me this, and it's the larger behavior that I'm trying to address. And that larger behavior is data and privacy is the new currency of this new millennium, right? The last 10 years or so, we have seen beyond a shadow of a doubt just how valuable your privacy and your data is. Mostly your data, but of course, when you get somebody's data, you infringe on their privacy. That's why they're related. So this is why I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted to do, if nothing else, get people into the frame of mind to understand the value of your data, to understand the value of your privacy. It's so important to do that, because all these people, before we could tell when it was scammers. These are not scammers anymore. These are legitimate top banks, okay? This is what worries me, is that it's already reached a level where a top bank with all the resources and all supposedly a brand to protect see nothing wrong anymore in doing this. And this is what alarms me, because if they're not seeing anything wrong with this, that means we are way in too deep, or we just don't understand the problem. I think it's a combination of both, because I don't think the general public particularly understand the problem or see the severity of the problem. And I think the other side, the people selling, the people using this information, are playing it down because we don't see the urgency in it. But they're profiting from it. And more importantly, it's just the behavior that's going to lead into a lot more problems. Because once your data is compromised, you basically become compromised. So if we're not vigilant about our privacy and protecting that, they will not assign a value to it. If we don't assign a value to it, they will not assign a value for you. They will just steal it, and then they will resell it, or they will spam you to death. Any which way that you go, it's not a good thing to happen. And if you look at how, if you watch something like, let's say, if you're on Netflix, watch something like The Great Hack, watch Social Dilemma, watch some of these documentaries on social media. And if that doesn't frighten you to your very core about what's happening here with data theft, data privacy, and the way data is being used, nothing will. You won't survive this next 10 years if you don't understand the value of your own data. Sorry to sound like a tito. I know it's kind of a boring topic. I know it's kind of a not, there are other more exciting things to talk about, but I think this needs a light shined on it. Okay? If we don't, what will end up happening is we will end up just giving up our data and our privacy in exchange for conveniences, etc. And before we know it, once, like I said, your account is compromised, you become compromised, and then it's pretty difficult to backpedal from there. So if you are one of these banks and one of these corporations using these tactics to market yourselves, please stop. It doesn't do you any favors. And I didn't name anyone. I did that deliberately. I'm not here to shame anybody. That's not the goal of this. That's why I was very careful about anything that identified the bank that I was talking about, because I want to give them a chance to just say, listen, we're on to you already. It's not cool. Stop it. Even if it wasn't a case of being a legal issue, even if it's not a
Add me. There you go, X. And this is how you try to save the day in the new normal when something dies, and you have to flick to another device. Well, this is the iPad, and this is trying to make do with a last minute disaster with Tita Clock. I'm glad you guys are so patient. Really, honestly, I wish I could award every single one, every single Tita Clocker out there, and give them a patience award for putting up with all of this. What we always go through. What? Big Brother's watching you and cut you off. You know what? For once, I believe in your conspiracy theories there, Tita Will. Yeah, I think they're on. But you see what I mean? If you're not careful, this thing can end up in a very, very bad place. Just look at many other examples out there worldwide of how this has ended up. Do yourselves a favor, watch The Great Hack, watch The Social Dilemma. Before I got cut off, somebody said that they watched The Social Dilemma and it was a real eye-opener for them as well. It really, you got to start taking this seriously, because aside from being the phishing, the hacking, the scams, the bad marketing practices, those are all one thing. But there's also another thing that you really need to be aware of now with this day and age of information. And this is the information era, right? And this information has been disrupted, and it is now monopolized and controlled by private companies. That's a scary thing to think about. When you've outsourced your freedom of speech to a private company like Facebook or Twitter or Google, that's the beginning of a very slippery slope that you don't want to go down. But it's already kind of too late, because we've already done it. There's no music, X. We're on a different. She said, "Put the music." No, we're on a different device now. We're just trying to wing it here until we get to the raffle. I just want to finish this message because it's very, very important. When aside from the hacking and the phishing, be very, very aware of how social media is manipulating you. Okay, I'm the last person to be talking about this. I'm the last person, because I make a living also a lot from social media, and I'm not going to lie about that. It's part of quite a big part of the income is using these platforms and channels, etc. But I do see the dangers of it, and I'm warning you of it. I'm now talking to you as a Tito, not as an influencer, not as a business person, just as strictly as I would tell my own kids and my own family. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being on social media. I'm not going to delete my accounts or anything like that, but at least understand and treat it like some kind of a drug. Okay, that's what you should be keeping in your head. Now, not all drugs are bad. When I say drugs, not of course hard drugs. Of course, those are horrible things. But you classify alcohol and drugs or those types of things, recreational. If you look at it like alcohol, that's a better example, because drugs are illegal. Look at it like alcohol, which is perfectly legal, but it's still something that can be abused. If you abuse it, you're going to end up in a very bad place. Same with social media. Understand that they're using the same tactics. This is very important. Understand that they know exactly what they're doing. They're engineering it because they know exactly how to tap into you. And the difference that's happening now between what I thought was happening before, I think we're all aware of targeting advertising, right? Targeted advertising was what we thought the game was being played, and it still is. But how it's evolved from targeting your advertising based on your interests and hobbies, which is how most of us understood it, the problem that we're getting now is they've gone so deep into the data theft and the data privacy, and they know so much about you that they know your behavior. Guess what? They are programming you. I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but they're programming you because they are influencing your behavior to buy things that you don't even need. Now, this can get very, very scary when you're talking about politics. You're talking about driving a behavior that is not necessarily endemic in the person or organic. For example, this is one let's say, target individually a person and say, all right, let's go for women, for example. Let's say you're selling personal protection. This is a good example. You're selling personal protection, guns or whatever, for home invasions. All you do now, and what they do now, is they flood your newsfeed for a week or two with home invasions. Okay, because there's obviously home invasions happening all around. So what they do is they collate that, they make sure they target you with the news. So now you are ripe for a week later when an ad comes up conveniently saying, protect yourself in your home from home invasion, buy this product now. That's an example of how they can program you to purchase even before you realize it. And it's completely different to finding out that you like riding your bike and then selling you a bike part. That's what we're talking about. That's the difference. That's how it's evolved. And also what Mila's posting there is also very good. It's anytime you're emotionally charged, anytime you feel like you've been pushed, right? And you get a reaction, question it. Question it. It's very important to question that, because why are they asking you to react? They're trying to make you react because they know that that's the best way to get an impulsive purchase or react or anything out of you. Yes, Rocket? You're right there? Okay. Yeah, okay. Rocket's feeling a little bit, like exposed, and he's got a social media account too. That's why. So he's getting scared now, and rightfully so. Be like Rocket. Rocket knows. When he hears this advice, he takes it very seriously. You see, he hides. He hides behind me because he knows how dangerous it can be. So guys, I know I sound like a super tito right now, and that's not the point of this, but it's serious. It's very, very important. And it's nothing to be totally afraid of, meaning if you understand it, if you understand the space and what they're trying to do, and you use it wisely, knowing that you can be manipulated or you are being manipulated if you spend long enough there, the key is to balance it out. Use it like you would use alcohol or any kind of drug. Because one thing that hit me also with the social dilemma is they used a quote, and they said there's only two companies or organizations or whatever you want to call them that refer to their customers as users. One is drug dealers, and the other is software. Think about that. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So when you patch it all together like that, and you see the power of social media now, and you see the power and the value of your data, which has overtaken any other commodity around, and attention, that's another thing you need to think about, is attention is all related, because when you're a social media network, you need the person's attention to be able to get the data. If you don't have their attention, you cannot garner the data. So be very careful with who you give your attention to. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Ayan, si Tito James feels like a real super Tito now, man. I think I must have aged like 10 years in that last little monologue because it just felt so preachy. But guys, all jokes aside, be smart, be wise, and who knows, you might even get this. Wrong. That's not connected anymore. I had the Raffle music all lined up for a change for once, and now I'm not connected because that computer died. I tell you what. Let's see if I can get it from here. I'm sure I've got it here somewhere. Come on. Where is that? Ayun! So I know everyone's been waiting for this, and it still doesn't work. Ay, nako. Here we go. Try again. Let's try again. There we go. Raffle time. And it died again. I tell you, we actually even had a brownout here in the building. Can you believe it? That's 2020 for you. It's just all falling apart right now at the seams. Okay, guys, for those who have joined the raffle, hold on for a second because it's coming your way. In the meantime, of course, we'd like to thank Bridgestone Philippines because they have been a staunch supporter of Tito Clock ever since day one. Yep. They basically supported this program for you because they wanted to be there when you needed them most. And I think that's completely admirable because they weren't trying to sell you anything, because they just wanted to make sure you were okay. But now that you're okay, and now that the new normal is back and we still have to go out and do things, if you have to replace your tires, you know who to go to, because not just are they good people, but they've got the 3 for 1 or buy 3, get 1 free. But that's not all, because our good friends at Bridgestone will also put that discount to good use, and they're also going to be giving out these proceeds to Hope Foundation as well. Is that Hope Foundation? Can I see that? I want to make sure I get it right. Hope Business for Good, because I know there's a Hope Foundation. So get it right, Hope Business for Good. These guys will be the beneficiaries of all the proceeds that come from this promo, the buy 3, get 1. So also, winners today will also receive this, a cap, a winner's podium cap from Bridgestone as well. So if you win the raffle, you will also get this cap on top of the vacuum cleaner. X, would you mind throwing that here? I want the actual one there. There's the box. This is going to go to some lucky person. And this here is what we're talking about. Rocket, come here. Rocket, come here. Rocket. There's Rocket. Rocket's the only one that doesn't like this thing. He freaks out. Come here, Rocket. Come here, come here. Ready?
So this is going to go to somebody. Maybe I should do it in my beard. Yeah. This is a very good thing to have in your car. It's a good thing to keep here. I just keep it now around the studio. And yeah, anytime you just need to sort of clean something up, or you got a little bit of hair or something like that, it fits in your cup holder. I think it's really coolly designed. And there are two of them to give away. And I also thought one thing was really cool about this is, look, you don't normally, USB-C, diba? Ang cool, diba? Normally you get USB micros and stuff like that. Only the newer and a little bit more upmarket products get the USB-C. So I thought that was really cool as well. Somebody's walking away with that. Thank you, Bridgestone, for putting this together. Let's do it already, X. Bring up the raffle. I want to press that button. Rocky, you want to press the button? Come here, Rocket. Press the button, Rocket. I promise I won't use the vacuum anymore. I promise. Come on. Oh. Here, you press the button. All right, Rocket. Look, somebody's going to win. Someone's going to win, Rocket. Who's going to win? Oh, galit na. How do you pronounce that? She, maybe. Carillo Escalante. And Sebastian. Very good. All right, so those are our... Oh, just a cap. So the third winner, but then all of them will get a cap, right? The other two as well. So Michelle, you get just the cap, and the other two will get the... Again, one more time. Okay, so the other two, the first two will get the vacuum cleaner, right, with a cap, and Michelle will get a cap. That's a bonus. I didn't even know that was coming along. So congratulations to everyone who has just won. If you didn't win, please think about supporting anyone that you saw on Free Plug Friday, including these guys over here, because they are also a startup. I did tag them on the page as well. If you're interested in getting a product, you may as well get somebody from Free Plug Friday who you could also help the local economy and just spin it around, just keep moving it around. Till then, it's been an awesome time. It's flown by so quick. But I thank you for joining us. Thank you for putting up with all the technical dramas as usual. Thank you for putting up with Rocket. And till tomorrow, till next week, on behalf of the entire team, X, Y, and Z, and myself, Tito James, bye guys. Be kind and still wash your hands.
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile. While everybody else around us is surfing about, can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk a while. Let's stop and talk a while.